The coalition has some work to do in Victoria. The Liberals hold just 12 of the 38 seats, while Labor has 21. But it's a state that's endured more COVID pain than anywhere else in the country, and that impact is yet to be tested at the ballot box.
You can't visit Victoria without getting a taste of the surf coast. Torquay's beach lifestyle luring many a Melburnian.
We've got the beach, beautiful natural bush to walk through and that sort of thing.
And this sea change destination is seeing big change of its own.
A lot of development, a lot of new supermarkets.
I'm born and bred Geelong, yep.
Okay, so how's the place changed in that period?
Oh, unbelievable.
This electorate is now one of the fastest growing regions in the country. The peace and quiet of this coastal pocket a goldmine for development, and quiet no more.
They build the housing estates first and then possibly add infrastructure to support that later. So everyone in all the housing estates between Geelong and Torquay, Armstrong Creek and all that, there's no real public transport, so everyone's on the roads and the roads can't cope.
It's perhaps what we've heard from voters more than anything else as we explore the federal seat of Corangamite. Once a rural and reliably Liberal seat, the race is now as tight as they come.
I think it's going to be Queensland and Corangamite that's going to decide this election.
How long have you lived here for?
Since 1973.
Long time. How's the area changed?
Oh, heaps I reckon. It's lost its soul, Torquay.
And I think it's good that there is political change in this country. I think it keeps the honest.
Corangamite covers the area surrounding Geelong, Victoria's second largest city, an hour's drive from Melbourne. The seat is held by Labor MP Libby Coker, who's up against Liberal candidate Stephanie Asher. So, what do their voters really care about?
Look after the elderly, for a start.
Mortgages, healthcare.
If you need to go to a GP, it's very, very hard to get in. And I think that's one of the key issues down here. Cost of living, that is a big thing.
The environment is the main thing in this situation, you know what I mean?
Climate change, big issue?
Climate change, big issue.
I'm a single dad with nearly two teenage daughters and trying to run my own business.
Adam Luscombe owns the local butcher, Surf Coast Quality Meats.
Next week for Easter, we're going to be flat out with tourists, with travel restrictions being eased. And
Is tourism a big driver of the economy down this way?
massively so, massively,
Massive.
yeah.
So how were the last 2 years when you didn't have that?
Well, they're just like everywhere else, pretty ho-hum and sketchy.
During the winter, it's very quiet. During the summer, it is hectic.
COVID threw a spanner in the works, but for businesses like the newsagent, Sue Beale tells us it wasn't necessarily a bad thing.
A lot of Melbourne people coming down because we were still open and most of Melbourne was all shut.
So that exodus from Melbourne, has that been good for business?
Yes and no, yeah. Yes. A lot of the new families coming in to, oh, you're open, we can come and get our supplies.
Having endured the harshest of lockdowns, Victorians like hairdresser Hunter Sedgwick won't vote in the state election until November. So the federal election may be his first chance for a say on how our leaders handled coronavirus.
Getting back to normal would be a pretty good start.
Okay, so the pandemic thing is a factor?
Yeah, absolutely, and the mismanagement of it.
Politics has become it's really A-grade gutter these days.
Former Mayor of Geelong, Darren Lyons, believes Labor's time could be up in Corangamite.
I've got a feeling it's going to turn again because of the laziness of the sitting member there now that has really spent more time factioning within the Labor Party and has fallen out of favour with the unions.
Who are you going to vote for?
I don't know.
Do you know who your two candidates are?
Yes, I don't know the name, sorry.
What do you think of your local candidates?
Who are they?
I'm more concentrating trying to get my football team to win.
I've just put on your ticket. You're all a bunch of whackers.
Don't.
Who are you going to vote for?
We don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion.
Oh, okay, shh, just chicken Kiev talk in this joint, rightio.
Those who do know who the candidates are aren't necessarily impressed.
Who are you going to vote for?
We haven't decided yet.
None of them?
No.
Do you have faith in either of the two candidates down this way?
I haven't really looked into it.
So you'll determine your vote basically on Labor or Liberal?
Yes, exactly.
I think Australia, the whole of Australia, stop voting for the brand. Labor, Liberal, monster raving loony party. Vote for the local member. Educate yourself.
We approached both the current member and the candidate for interviews. Both requests were rejected.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe they're too busy for us common people.
Maybe. Well, I couldn't even find them in the local paper. I know this is not the only local paper, but I looked in the Geelong Addy and there's not even any campaign ads in here. When you consider how critical her campaign could be to this election, it's a bit surprising that our request to speak with Libby Coker got knocked back. But we have found this leaflet that's been dropped in letterboxes across the electorate, and it gives us an idea of what she's doing for voters. It talks about healthcare, roads, powering a cleaner Australia, and supporting the needs of families. Well, let's go speak to some of those families ourselves.
I had some photos to my slide so it made it look better.
Because of the affordability of housing, there's lots of young families living the dream, you know, getting the house with the white picket fence and being able to get so much more for their money.
Mum Chrissy Davies made the move from Melbourne with her family, and it sounds like Labor has her vote.
Probably Libby at this stage, I think, just because she does have a bit more of a presence around the community, and some of the things that she's advocating for are really aligned with our family.
I hope that we have a lot more swing voters in this election, and I hope Australia becomes a whole heap of swingers, to be quite honest with you, for the good of the country.